Hi everyone, my name is Miss Hester and I work in the Children's Department at the Wadsworth Public Library. And today, rather than bringing you books and stories, I'm going to bring you one of my favorite games. So this game here is called Sungka, and it's not a game that you probably have at your house, and that's because it comes from the Philippines. Now the Philippines is a country in Southeast Asia in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And it's made up of thousands of islands, and wherever you have islands, you have lots of beaches, and where you have beaches, you have lots of seashells. So the game pieces for Sungka are little cowrie shells. I don't know if you can see those too well, but those are what we use to move around the board. So I'm going to teach you how to play Sungka. It's a two-player game. So this side of the board up here would belong to player 1, and the other side would belong to player 2. Now the way that you play is each player gets to choose from their own side to start the play. So I would start on this side and I would scoop up shells from one of the holes, and then I would deposit one shell in each of the holes after that. So I keep going around the board, and I like to play counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter which direction you go as long as you're both moving in the same direction. Now when I come over here to this big hole on the end, that's my collection plate. So I'm going to go ahead and put one shell in that side and keep moving around the board. Now when I get to the last shell that I have in my hand and I drop it in, as long as there are other shells in that particular hole, I can keep moving. So I scoop those ones up and keep going around the board. Now when I get to this big dish on the other side, I don't want to put a shell in there because it belongs to my opponent, to player 2. So I'm going to skip that one and keep moving. Now when I get here, this is my last shell, and there are no other shells in this one. I landed in an empty dish. So I'm going to put it in there and my turn is over. But the cool thing is I landed on an empty on my side, an empty dish on my side of the game. That means I get to take this along with any other shells opposite it and put them into my side of the board over there. And then it would be player 2's turn. Now if I were to land in an empty dish on player 2's side of the board, I wouldn't get any special shells to put in my side. My turn would just be over. So then player 2 would take their turn. They can start from any of the ones on this side of the board. They might choose this one here and start working their way around, putting one shell in at a time. And they will want to put one in here because that's their collection dish. That's where they want to try to collect as many shells as they can. They'll skip mine and keep working their way around the board. Now play continues until all of the shells that are in the middle have been distributed to one side or the other. Now if this person were to land with their last shell in their collection dish, then their turn isn't over. They get to pick something else from theirs and keep going, but they're choosing from their side of the board. So they might pick this one up, keep going. Okay, and so again, they landed on that side, and they can pick and continue their turn. So it's only when you land in one of these empty spots that your turn is over, and then the next person gets to go. When the game is finally over and all of these shells are in one side or the other, then you count up and see how many are in each side, and whoever has the most wins the game. So it's pretty easy, and it might be a little bit familiar to you if you've seen the game Mancala. They might use different moving pieces instead of seashells. I think they use glass beads or little marbles. Some places I've seen they use stones. And when I first learned this game, they actually used pits from fruit. It was a really poor area, and so we would save the tamarind seeds or pits, wash them off and bleach them and make sure they were really clean, and that's what we used just in the dirt to move them around. So you might say, okay, that's nice, but I don't have a Suka board. How can I play? So I thought we could double this up and make it not just a game time, but also an afternoon art time. I grabbed something that I hope most of you have at home, and that's an egg carton. So I think everybody probably has something like that at home. And the first thing I did was I removed the top so that I just have the little divots here, and that's going to be the game board. Now my first plan was to use the top to kind of cut them into some little sections and use those for my collection dishes on either side. But this has holes in it, so I had to come up with a plan B. And I thought just some regular bowls, glass bowls or plastic bowls, something like that, would go fine on either end. Now before I do that, I don't know if you could see this one too well on my video, but this has some nice decorations, some nice staining and some drawing. So I thought if you have some Sharpies or markers, if you have jewels or gems or other things to put on, you can spend a little bit of time kind of decorating and designing your board first. So that's kind of a fun thing to do on a rainy day. You can pick different colors, you can do different designs, maybe some stripes up and down, some checkers, use whatever color you like, your favorite color, and take as long as you want doing polka dots. And then once you have your board looking nice, then the next thing you need to do is find something to use as game pieces. So you might not have a bunch of shells just lying around, or maybe you do, but my boys picked some Lego pieces because they have plenty of those in their room, and they picked those and we thought we could use those as moving pieces. Now because the holes here in the egg carton are a little bit smaller than my Sungka board, I'm not going to put quite as many pieces in. In the Philippine version we put 7 in each hole to start the game, but we're only just going to put 5 in. So you can count them out, 5 in each one. You can use beads or stones, anything that you have that's kind of small that you can put in there. And you can go ahead and distribute those and start your game. Find someone in your house that you want to play, maybe challenge them to a new game, teach them the rules, and have fun together on this rainy day.